Hey guys, today I want to talk to you about the different types of budgeters. And this has some importance because how you budget, how effectively you budget and plan for your money. Maybe I should avoid the word budget, but make a plan for your money and then execute on that plan has a lot of implications for how successful you're going to be financially. So what I want to talk about today is just kind of an overview of the three categories I've come to kind of group people in based on their type of budgeting behaviors. Next time, we'll talk about the implications of those behaviors and the effect on your likelihood of financial success. But today, let's just talk about what the different types are. So type 1, I tend to call the budget averse. These people do not like to budget. They don't even like the word budget, right? They hear budget, they go running for the hills. So they tend to live their financial life with no real plan. As you can imagine, that tends to not turn out too well, and you tend to see a lot of overspending in this group. But there are a lot of people who fall into this group because they feel like a budget is going to be very restrictive or a straitjacket for their wallet kind of thing, where they're not able to spend any money. And the reality is, if you are overspending, especially if you're overspending by a lot, doing a budget that's actually balanced may restrict your spending a bit, but that's because you're used to overspending. The alternative is you go into a bunch of debt because you're spending more money than you have. So, the reality is, a budget is really just a plan for your money. So that first type, the budget averse, they just really don't do any budgeting activities at all. Type 2, the second type, is the box checker. Okay, and I call them this because these people are checking the box to say, "Yep, I've done some budgeting," and then that's about as far as it goes. And this type of behavior is actually as dangerous as the first type of budgeting behavior, where those people are just in denial. Type 2 people think they're doing something. They're checking that box, so they think they're taking their steps towards financial success. What these people tend to do in terms of budgeting is maybe make a plan, so they might have an idea of what they want to spend in all these different categories, but they tend to not track any of their expenses, or they do minimal expense tracking. The problem there is, if you don't track any of your expenses, how do you know whether you stuck to your plan or not? If I plan to spend $100 at restaurants this month, but then I don't track any of my expenses, did I stay to my $100? Did I only spend $50? Or did I spend $300? I have no idea. So the box checking behavior is a bit dangerous because you feel like you're doing something, but you're not actually doing enough to position yourself for financial success. And type 3, I simply call the budgeter. These are the people who are actually doing the budgeting activities. They're making a plan for their money. They're tracking their expenses so they know whether they're sticking to that plan or not. Now, I want to be clear here. You don't have to stick 100% to your budget categories. It happens all the time. All of us have problem categories, and it's gonna happen where you overspend one month in a certain category, or an unexpected expense comes up and you have to spend in that category. It happens. But the budgeters, the type 3 people, they are sticking with their budget through the month. They're tracking their expenses and they're adjusting their budget on the fly as needed to make sure that they're not overspending. When you're tracking your numbers and you have a plan, you know how much is coming in and where it's all going, it actually becomes pretty hard to overspend because you're looking at it. And all of us know intuitively, I can't spend more than I make. But you only know if you're spending more than you make if you actually make a plan and track it. So that's the three types of budgeters: the budget averse, the box checker, and the budgeter. Next time, we're going to talk about what that means in terms of your likelihood of financial success. But what I want you guys to do is try to figure out which of these three categories you most fit into. And that's going to help us next time.